Hey everybody, welcome to another FM synthesis tutorial. In this video I'll be showing you a custom patch called Trigger Bass. Now Trigger Bass is basically an emulation of an arpeggiator, and the way that we do that is we utilize the LFO section on the DX7, and this is how you do it. Okay, the first thing we do as always, we initialize a patch. Next we select our algorithm, and this patch uses algorithm 6, which has 3 carriers, and each of those carriers has its own dedicated modulator. So selecting algorithm 6, we move on to our output levels. Operator 1, which is a carrier, has an output level of 99. Operator 2, which modulates operator 1, has an output level of 90. Our second carrier, operator 3, has an output level of 99. Operator 4, which modulates operator 3, has an output level of 95. Operator 5 is a carrier, has an output level of 99, and operator 6, which modulates operator 5, has an output level of 71. Operator 6 also has the feedback loop, so that goes to 6. Moving on to the frequency values, operator 1 has a frequency value of 1.01. Operator 2 stays at 1, operator 3 stays at 1, operator 4 goes up to 1.01, operator 5 goes up to 2, and operator 6 also goes up to 1.01. And in doing that, we've introduced a bit of movement to our waveform. This patch doesn't have any envelope settings, so we can leave that at the default settings. Having initialized it, we can just leave it as it is. Now we move on to the LFO section. So basically with this patch, the LFO section is doing two things. It's giving us the trigger repeats, and that can be controlled in real time using the LFO speed. We can change that. But the other thing that it's doing is it's also affecting the amplitude of our modulators. And the way that we do that is by routing A-mod sensitivity. We need to bump that up for all of our modulators, which are operators 2, 4, and 6. And the amplitude modulation sensitivity goes up to 3 for each of those. So operator 2 goes up to 3, operator 4 goes up to 3, and operator 6 goes up to 3. And next we can set the values for each section that's going to affect amplitude of our modulators. The first one will be the modulation wheel, the second one will be the LFO. So go to function, select wheel range, bump that up to 99, and this basically gives us full strength when we move the modulation wheel. And then go to EG bias and select on. Now we go to the LFO section. For this we're using the saw down waveform. Speed is variable, we can adjust this however we like, but for now let's just set it to 30. We're not using LFO delay, we're not using PM depth, we're not affecting pitch in this patch, but we are affecting amplitude. So AM depth goes all the way to 99, and sync needs to be on. Now, because we've applied this modulation wheel to control part of the sound, when it's in its lowest position, nothing's being affected. But as we increase it, we are starting to introduce this amplitude modulation that's been programmed into the LFO section. So the modulation wheel basically introduces the LFO effect to our sound, and we've already set the parameters in the LFO to affect our sound in a certain way. Like I said, the speed we can vary in real time, so select speed, make sure the modulation wheel is in its highest position, and just press any note, and move the data entry wheel up and down to change the speed in real time. We can take some of the brightness away by lowering the modulation wheel to soften up that sound, and we can still change the speed of the LFO in real time. And there it is, that's Trigger Bass. So some kind of advanced concepts in terms of routing and multiple controls for a single effect, but essentially it's a very easy patch to make, and this type of thing you can apply to other patches as well. So keep practicing, and I'll see you next time in the next video. Thanks for watching.